Maple Street, there's a girl named Joy. She's a daisy queen, that town's pride and joy. With a sparkle in her eye and a mouse in her hand, she roams a digital wasteland, the best in the land. From sun up to sundown, she's glued to her screen. Ain't no zombie too mean, ain't no survivor unseen. Her fingers dance like fire, ain't nobody's match. When she sets her sights, you can bet you're attached. She's the KuppaJoy, better watch your back. In that post-apocalyptic world, she's leading the pack. She's one of a kind, a force to be reckoned. Pray you'll survive if in her path you're beckoned. Boys try their luck, but they ain't got a chance. With a quick trigger finger, she's got that advance. She's got the patience to hunt, strategy to win. A dominating force turning danger into a grin. Small town whispers talk about her reign, how she turns every game into pure hurricane. There's no denying her magic online. In that virtual wasteland she shines and she blinds. She's the KuppaJoy, better watch your back. In that post-apocalyptic world, she's leading the pack. She's one of a kind, a force to be reckoned. Pray you'll survive if in her path you're beckoned. She's the KuppaJoy, better watch your back. In that post-apocalyptic world, she's leading the pack. She's one of a kind, a force to be reckoned. Pray you'll survive if in her path you're beckoned. She's the KuppaJoy, better watch your back. In that post-apocalyptic world, she's leading the pack. She's one of a kind, a force to be reckoned. Pray you'll survive if in a path you're beckoned. Oh, oh, path you're beckoned. Boys try their luck, but they ain't got a chance. With her quick trigger finger, she's got that advance. She's got the patience to hunt, the strategy to win. A dominating force turning danger into a grin. Down in the hills of small town Tennessee, there's a mom girl known as KuppaJoy, carefree. With a controller in her hand, she plays dayz. Not searching for love, just virtual fantasy. She ain't dreaming of weddings or a pretty white veil, just the thrill of survival in a digital tale. If love comes around, it'll be on its own, but for now she's content in this gaming zone. KuppaJoy, living her way, play until the break of day. If a Prince Charming comes, let him be, but for now it's just her game and dayz. Hearing the strings of an old country tune while the sun sets behind a digital moon. In a world full of chaos, she's found her stride. In the pixels and prompts, she takes it in stride. She ain't looking for glass slippers or a diamond ring. She's a modern day Cinderella, doing her own thing. Battling zombies by night, working hard by day. In a world the fairy tales come in her own way. KuppaJoy, living her way, play until the break of day. If a Prince Charming comes, let him be, but for now it's just her game and dayz. KuppaJoy, living her way, play until the break of day. If a Prince Charming comes, let him be, but for now it's just her game and dayz. KuppaJoy, living her way, play until the break of day. If a Prince Charming comes, let him be, but for now it's just her game and dayz. But for now it's just her game and dayz.
KuppaJoy, knuckles tight on that keyboard. Playing dayz, slaying zombies, what's the reward? Elegant assassin, damn, she a digital queen. In a world of chaos, she stayed crisp and clean. Be unmatched with jokes, she's so lethal. Reality glitching avatars ain't equal. Don't try to step or you lose the game. Got a legacy of pixels etched out of fame. KuppaJoy, dayz, warrior supreme. In the virtual world, she controls the scene. Elegant and fierce, her game, her pride. Forever immortal, dayz, she'll ride. Enemies fall like leaves in autumn breeze. She navigates the terrains with elegant ease. Beauty in motion, her moves all poetry, encrypted in the game's code. A legacy, can't contact her love, it's the game she cherished. But a dayz saga that'll never perish. Armor-clad heart, but her spirit's free. Crafting a legend in her own symphony. KuppaJoy, dayz, warrior supreme. In the virtual world, she controls the scene. Elegant and fierce, her game, her pride. Forever immortal, in dayz, she'll ride.
Hello chat, thank you for joining me today. Welcome everyone. I'm gonna go in Discord, so just give me a few seconds. Oh, okay. The mic was off. Welcome all. I'm just gonna go in Discord real quick. And then we'll get into the game. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me check this. And let me look. Okay, come on. Find that Discord. Okay. Here we go.
Cut up stuff and then a hatchet to cut tree or whatever.
Hello.
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 Hello, Crazies.
Are you done
Crazies.
like shoe shopping and drinking coffee and now it's dayz time?
Yeah. Give me
All
a
right.
second. Okay, chat. Let me cue you guys in.
So have you bribed anybody into giving you any vehicles on the server yet, Kuppa?
Let me see. There you are. There we are.
Oh,
No,
I
I
think-
don't have. What are you talking about? Okay, so
Probably got a whole base set up and everything.
right
My game
here,
is
we're at the
freaking.
trader. This is the trader. I was looking at the vehicle.
This is cool the way this map's all jungle. This is better than vanilla.
Oh yeah, I think this has definitely got a
I think once I
modded environment to it.
Yep.
I'm just looking at the 1,000 slot. 500 slots. Oh, 500 slots.
Well, so what are you doing, Kuppa?
I'm at the trader. Where are you guys at?
Which trader are you at? The Devil's one or the Neddy's or
Okay, so
vehicle or
I'm at the regular trader.
what,
It
I
doesn't.
don't. What's it called?
Okay, it doesn't matter which way you come in. There's two entrances into the trader.
Yeah,
And
but which trader?
There's also 2 different traders.
okay, so
If
there's
we're trying to ask you which trader it is, though.
listen.
You just say the name of it. It makes it so much easier.
Okay,
They're in
what's
completely different directions from each other.
I know. Okay,
I'm standing in
listen.
the forest.
Listen.
Then
I'm
explain
heading.
it.
Oh
Explain
my
it. Spit it
god.
out already.
Hey,
You're
well, I'm
not
just going to the trader I'm at. I don't care which one you're at because you
yeah.
don't really
Yeah,
know.
we're
So,
closer to this
Okay.
one.
So
yeah,
okay.
so screw it.
There's
So
only
we don't care. We
there's
don't care what trader you're at, Kuppa.
there's
We don't
only
want to hear it.
Okay. Nope. Forget it. You took
there,
too long to answer.
there's
Sorry.
only one main trader, okay?
No, there's two
the,
traders that I can see right from here.
listen.
I can see them. They
I
glow.
know.
They're literally
Listen.
glowing.
Devil's
You're not
Puzzle
giving
Trader.
me a
They're glowing
chance
DZ
to
bright.
got traded.
explain.
They're glowing
Okay.
bright colors on my screen.
Okay, so there's 2 entrances into the one trader. You could enter through Devil's something or Nod's Nod what is it called? Nod what? I can't.
We'll just call it Nod Trader.
Okay, the Nod
Because
East
what
something.
me and
It's
Bear
not
were
a.
saying was not.
It's not a trader. Yeah, we said it's not a trader.
So once you get in, you will warp through the door, and then you enter the trader, and it's only one trader.
Oh.
You just
Ah.
so if you're up north, you enter through the Devils. If you're down south, you enter through Nod.
Ah.
But
I
then
So
see.
why didn't you just
But
answer
then
that
you-
when we asked you
It's
what
not a
trader you
trader.
were at then?
But then you end up at the same trader.
So
There's
it's not
one
a.
only.
So it's not a trader.
It's a warp door.
Yeah.
You're just a warp door that you're going to right now.
Does that mean it's crooked, like a hobbit door kind of thing?
I don't know.
It's because it's just warped.
It warps you somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
And then we
Gonna
can't
come out looking
we
like a
can't-
chicken.
We can't go to Heli Trader because it's gassed, and we can't go alone. And that's what I heard. We can't go to BM. It's gassed, and we can't. We need a card.
Well, we got a key card for BM.
Yeah.
Bear just found one like 5 seconds before you joined,
What else?
which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Say that
It's a
again.
head on how on that last server we were just on. That's how they had it. You had to have a punch card to get into BM
Yeah, you
or
have to have
DNA card or whatever.
correct. You have to have a card. I don't know what kind of card. I haven't seen any.
Crap.
Got any?
You good?
I'm bleeding, but I'll be okay.
Okay, let's look at this. Sorry, chat. We're looking at the Okay, this
Okay,
is
bandage up. I'm here.
500 slots.
Gotcha.
Let's look at 1,000 slots. Here it is. I think 3 mil.
Hope they drop
Oh
some
my
good stuff.
God.
That one dropped some fat. Oh, they drop it fat.
1 mil 500.
Like animal
Okay.
fat?
Just fat in general, non-specific fat.
Huh.
3, 4, 5 mil.
Odd.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one. Let's see. This
Few more
one
Zeds
is
up here.
1,500,000.
We'll go around these guys.
Yeah, because there's like I've seen like 2 at first, and then I looked, and there was like
Oh,
5.
here's a million.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
this is 1,000 slots. So I assume this is the one I'm supposed to get. I have to ask
Oh,
the
okay,
guy.
good.
Let me write.
How did I get cut twice from the one zombie hit? Unless they both hit me at the same. Oh, and I only have 1 rat, dude. Do you have a bandage on you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Okay.
crap.
So that's probably. Oh, who is this?
Cut me for small stones.
Hey,
Ruined
come here.
worm.
Come here. You need to get
Oh,
bandaged?
shit. Yeah, please.
Okay. Okay, let's go to.
No more
Okay,
fighting.
no more fighting. Yeah, we gotta get to a trader who can buy some more bandages if they're buyable.
Yeah,
You-
couple. Look and see if we can buy bandages.
I only have like
You
2
can't
left.
buy bandages, but you could buy it at P2P.
What's a PTP?
Oh,
It's a
Player,
warp
player.
door. Once you're here, I'll show you.
Where's Ed's?
Yeah,
Let
I
me
see
see
him.
if there's any bandages
Oh,
for
yeah.
sale. Okay, so we're gonna warp through. This is P2P. You warp through this
Wonder what
door.
if I can wrap a P. Can I wrap a PGP around a
And then this is the
gaping
main
wound?
trader. Okay. This way takes you out
I'm
of this side. Okay, so this is the side of the dayz. Oh, you know what? Since we're here, let's get our map out. Oh, don't sell your map and don't throw away your map, because if you do,
I
you
figured
can't
that out
save.
already. Yeah.
that was very unfortunate.
Yeah. No.
We had to
We went.
You threw it
back.
away?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the
And we had to
ground.
go. And we had to go back and find it once we realized that my map
Luckily,
was needed.
yeah.
It was still
That's
there.
funny.
Luckily, I was like, "Oh, I remember you saying you dropped it right here." We turned right around, and made a big old loop.
Okay. I think my map is in here.
Kuppa,
Yep.
you gotta be lying. You don't have a car or nothing yet on here.
I have a vehicle.
You got a $90 million heli.
No, I don't have it. Howley.
Cause running stuff is not for me.
Let's put this here. Need that. Okay. Who's over there? So this is the trader. The entrance through it. Okay. I need to put this
Oh damn! I see other
here.
players. I see an ATM.
I need to throw that away. Keep that.
There we go. More signs of
Keeping
life.
that. Keeping that.
Where do I sell this gold at, Kuppa? I need to sell
You
this
could
gold.
sell the gold, but in the main chat, you could advertise it, and they'll buy it for more than trader.
What do people do with it?
They use it to craft stuff. This is
Oh.
more like a crafting server. Like everything is crafted.
Oh.
Dumb.
Okay, I guess this is a warp door here. Can you come back through the warp door?
Yes, you
Should
can
be
come
good.
and go.
Oh, it's got glittery, flickery lights in the trader.
Yeah, love it.
Store that. Okay, there we go.
Clothing.
Yeah, make sure you don't sell that gold at the trader. Advertise it.
If you say so.
What's the biggest backpack on here?
150.
Where do you get that?
You have to craft it, or you have to buy it off someone.
Oh,
Oh, now he comes.
wow, the light in this trader is so flickery.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this gun away.
Don't you love it?
Gonna sell.
Yeah,
It's the main trader.
Yeah.
nothing like a good stroke to start the day off, right?
Let's see. 9 by 19. 9 by 19.
Oh, you can't buy any of the food here. You can only.
Yeah, you can't buy food.
Okay, you can only sell it.
You can't buy sharpening stone. Oh.
No, you can't buy sharpening stone either.
Oh, what can you buy?
Yeah.
It's hard. Life is hard on here.
Okay, what can you? No, I mean like what can you buy? Like what can you actually buy?
Why would a
Um,
50k gold bar only sell for 25? What?
you guys were given a rope and a hook, right?
We got through this away a long time ago. This I had no backpacks. So I needed space.
Okay, okay. It's fine. We could fish. Right out here, there's a little stream, so you could fish and sell.
Ooh, I can buy a heat pack. Ooh. Can buy no.
Ugh.
Let me guess. We gotta craft all the bandages probably out of cloth.
All these vehicles. Can you buy the vehicles or just parts?
You
I
can
don't
buy
get it.
vehicles.
All I see is parts, though.
You and
It's
the
just
parts
parts.
Are you at the
one.
vehicle parts trader?
It's just parts here. That's all it is.
You had the parts.
There's another one somewhere that's vehicles.
They have like a separate one for vehicles.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
remember this setup?
What?
These video games like this? I've seen it in other places. It's stupid. I don't.
It's a harder server. Makes your life harder.
My life's
We
hard
don't want
enough.
that.
My life's hard enough. I want it easy. I want to play it on easy server with hard baddies. Lots of Zeds.
Oh yeah, here lots of
Give me,
that.
give me a gun and
Okay,
yeah.
do you guys need
You wanna
food right
take
away? Where are you? Let me see. Where are you?
Should I sell these books?
Yeah, sell the books.
yeah. Where do we sell those at?
On me. I just sold 2 crappy books.
Good, because I got like 10.
Oh yeah.
Possum, I'm behind you.
No, you're not. You don't even know what I look like.
When you go like this, you can see the person's name.
No, you can't.
Bear, you need food?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a can of Coke.
There's fish right there
Oh,
for
yeah.
you.
Thanks.
I think quite a bit with all these books. I'm happy I started.
Boiled
kept all
minnow.
those.
Delicious. I've been looking forward to that all day. Thank you.
Take that little bit of
Can't
soda.
Hey, it's chicken flavored.
I need to find where the guns
Here, Possum.
are.
Take this. Take this meat.
Where's the gun trader? Sell some gun parts.
See that yellow tent? Go through it. And then make a right.
Just keep the mags in case.
You find the gun.
Yeah.
True.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna sell this to Moss and I'll just keep the one shotgun. How many rounds does that 870 hold that you have
Oops.
spare?
Oh, hold on. I'm trying to unglitch. Where is that? Is that DNA Dory? How'd you get to that? Where you are?
Come over here.
Come over
Wait.
where? Oh, okay. I see.
Come back. Come back.
I'm where Possum is now.
Okay.
The shotgun holds 8 shots, plus 1 in the chamber.
Oh.
Get the gun, please. I'm gonna go over here. This warps us to P2P.
Okay, so it's the same as what I'm carrying.
And so
I just got
let's see
lost
if they have
bird.
duct tape.
So I can sell it. $150? Oh, I can sell the pictures here. $10.50. Good. They're like $3,000 right there.
I don't know if I should sell this sniper rifle. It's a VC-89, but I got no mags for it. Or VS-89. That's worth 1,400. I don't know. Hey, Kuppa, is the VS-89 any good, or is it crap?
If you have a 308 and above, I would go with that. But I mean, you know, if
No, I
you
don't.
got no choice, you know what I mean? It's kind of like
Mm.
at the beginning.
Yeah, okay, maybe I'll sell it. Got no ammo for it anyway, so I got an MP5A2. It's 9x19. Oh yeah, I got a scope on it now. Hell yeah.
Oh.
I just realized I picked up a scope and it fit. I literally have picked up
Yeah.
one scope and it happens to fit the gun gun. This never happens.
Okay, it is. We'll buy this one. Okay. There it is.
Okay. Pickaxe has definitely been a very good weapon.
They'll buy the pickaxe off for you too.
Huh?
People. Yeah, pickaxe is rare on here.
Oh yeah? I've been using it to kill Zeds. It works really well. Oh, you're sick.
Me?
This other guy.
Oh, don't be near him. It's hard to get medical stuff.
Well, I got iodine and I got some multivitamins, so I'm running away.
Oh, good. Glad you
Yeah.
found that stuff.
Are you? Yeah. I got.
Where do you buy ammo?
Next.
Oh,
Oh, right there. Right.
with
I
the
think
probably
right.
one of the dudes
The
at.
gun. At
Yeah,
the gun
it's
place.
yeah, it's over.
Okay, it's expensive.
Okay, I need to buy a
9x19. 200 for 1,800
You guys want to
bucks.
see my store? So this is
Huh,
kind of
okay.
like, I call it a swap meet, where you could like sell your own stuff. It's like, that's why it's P2P, player
Okay.
to player.
That's worth
So
it.
it's like a swap meet because you could set up all your goodies and people could buy it from the store. This one is mine. So if you come here,
See how much the shotgun rounds are.
open it, and this is all the stuff that I sell.
Yeah. Think about
Looks like, did somebody buy something?
5.
2, 3, 4,
Make sure you
5,
get
6,
the
7, 8.
green ones, the rifled slugs. Those are the good ones.
Oh, I have.
Oh, the red ones aren't?
I thought I had more than that.
Well, I mean, they're buckshot, so they're gonna have more of a spread to them.
Protected case.
Okay. The slugs are better.
Barbed wire, glass
Yep.
bottle. The gun.
What is it? 1,800
Oh,
for
they bought the
200?
weed.
That's what it
They
is?
bought my weed.
No
Hammer.
shot. I got 50 there. 200.
Um,
Holy shit. Okay, that's
Camping
decent.
still here. Gold still here.
1,800 bucks for
and
200
they bought the drug.
shotgun.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Hell yeah.
I've
Done.
I've never done this before. Here's the management.
About 200.
money.
That
So I
should be
made
good.
Hell yeah.
4,800. Okay.
And I'll just wait. And the clothing.
And then
Ruin clothing.
manage money. Enter amount.
Nice.
Well, you, dude,
What?
get out of my way, dude. This dude fucking keeps walking right in front of me and I couldn't get out of this damn fucking tent.
Oh.
I started cussing at him.
Okay, money claimed. Okay.
I'm going up here by these picnic tables. I'm gonna have me a quick cigarette break.
And so does
Where
the
do you
money
get-
go to my account or is it?
Where do you
in
get
my
food
car?
on here? You just buy it or?
You can't buy food.
Do you need some?
No, I'm
We
just
can go
curious. I'm okay for now. Yeah, we'll just have to go hunt at some point eventually.
Yeah, we could
No,
fish
no
outside.
rush.
I'll
Like
be right back.
I'm in the whites, so
Okay, okay.
that fish helped a lot. But I'll be good.
Yep, okay.
There's like this other warp door here. What is
Which
it?
one?
Where does it go? It says GNA secure warp passage. Where does that go? Oh, does this go out the other way?
The two red doors go out. Oh, there you are. This is P2P. Come here. This is where you buy stuff
Oh,
from other players. See all this? I call it swap meet because they have bands. See all these bands? If you go up to the bands, they sell stuff.
oh, okay. I see.
So you just walk around, roam around, see what you like.
Okay. I don't
I
like
mean,
any
you've
of
been
it.
to you've been to a swap meet.
Overpriced.
It's kind of like that, right?
No. Yeah. So, yeah, it's all a bunch of overpriced junk. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so now I could add more stuff in there. Since
I don't know what's good on here. There's a lot of stuff, but
oh, I can't add stuff because I put it in my car. Darn it. Okay, it's fine.
anyway.
This 338. There's the 38. That. Got a knife. Okay. So if you need bandage, you could buy here as well. Some people sell them.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to do a quick search, let's see where you're at.
I'm in the trader.
Oh, you went back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have like 2 bandages left, so
Okay.
I think I gotta go and get some sleep.
Well, now you know the warp doors.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Did you find the drinking fountain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm next to it almost.
Okay. Oh, okay, okay. Let me show you this. stream so that you know where to go fishing. Where are you at?
I'm at the drinking fountain.
Okay.
Almost. I'm near it.
Okay.
Not at it.
Oh, there you are. Okay, follow me. So you want to go to the door to the right?
Yeah.
The one on the left has more zombies. And if you want to go fishing,
Oh, this
just
is where
to
we
make,
were.
yeah, just to make money, there's a stream right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you just fish and then take it back and sell it. Fish, take it back and sell it. And the
Okay.
fishing pole you could buy in there as well.
Okay.
That way
I
you're
threw.
not.
I found one, but I threw it away.
Oh God. Okay. And then that way you're not hungry. And then you know the what is it called? Okay, when you fish and you get these little guy right here. See these guys right here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Minnows.
So you take your knife and then you combine it and you gut it. And when you gut it, so you want to keep them, it turns them into, see, the piece of
Yep.
meat, and then you could just cook that meat
Okay.
in your cooking pot.
All right.
In
Cool.
that way. So I just save all that. That way I don't have to.
I threw away a net
That
too.
way, oh my God. That way I don't have to. I could sell my fish and not have to cut my fish up.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to bed?
Yeah. I gotta get some
Okay.
sleep.
Okay, Bear. Okay, Bear's doing that, so we'll go fishing.
I don't know if I'll go back in the trader here or.
Yeah, just go inside and then log out in there.
Yeah.
Good old bedtime.
Yeah.
Possum, are you leaving too, or are you staying around?
No, I'll stay around for a little bit.
Okay. Did you see the stream outside here?
No. Oh,
I'm just out here fishing. If when you come out of the door, make a right and then keep coming down, and there's a little tiny stream.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night, Bear. It's good seeing you.
Yeah. Nice to see you.
Possum, is your friend coming in?
he never got a hold of me, so I guess not.
Oh, okay. This is actually a good time to be on because not a lot of people are on. And when you go looting, you know, you could go to like VMC or something like that, which I normally like to do. There'll still be guns there.
Electrical repair kits. On that, $5,000.
Let's ruin. Let's go over here and see if we could get some medical stuff. There's like a hospital up here. Just right here. But I gotta kill these Hey, here they come. Wow, that's a lot of them. Oh no! No! Don't tell me I got nothing out of them. No! Okay, saline bag. There we go. Okay. Few things. So the Z actually carries the stuff. And there's usually nothing inside the hospital. But we're gonna just double check it. Yeah, see? Nothing. No, that's why on this server, it's a little bit different. You do have to kill the Z. You can't just not kill them. Possum, you still looking around?
I was about to come out, and then it said something about my daily reward.
Okay, okay. Did you
That
get it?
I just got a yeah, I got a necklace.
Oh,
And
good. Okay.
find out how to sell it.
You could
See if
sell
I can
that.
get
Yeah,
money.
yeah. I think the necklace is at the gun. If you can't find it, I think it sells at the gun. I don't know why.
Figured it did because there's like a one in there that because I sold some pictures there that were worth some good money. I wonder,
Oh, okay.
like rare because it's rare items or something. Holy shit!
What?
31,000. Oh,
Nice.
what's the cheapest car on here?
Um, I think 180? Yeah,
Shit.
180.
Which warp passage was it to go to
Well, I
where
am?
you're at?
Okay, so if you're coming out,
Yeah.
the one on the right. But you could come out, back in and out if you have the wrong door.
So that one trader come out. Where's the stream at?
Right here, behind you, behind you, behind you. Is that you running away from me?
No, I'm right here on the road.
Oh, okay, okay, right here.
Yeah, I gotta move back on.
This string goes this way, and then if you don't want to use this string, you could use this one over here too, which is on this side.
Oh, there is. Goes underneath.
And sometimes they do have Z around that area, you know, on both sides.
Yeah.
Do you have a fishing pole and
Yeah, I did. I got it. I just got to get some worms.
oh, you don't need worm. You just buy that stuff. Like, you know how we play in Savage? Just buy that for 500.
Oh, the lures.
Yeah, the lure. Yeah, yeah. It's in the
Yeah. I
fishing.
ended up buying. I bought 3 of the metal hooks instead.
Oh,
So
darn.
I had one bone hook, and then I ended up
Yeah,
seeing the
the
metal
lure.
hook, so I was like,
Yeah, so
bought
you.
them because they were only 200.
Okay, okay. So next time buy
I
the
don't mind
lure,
getting.
cause your knife is gonna go bad.
Yeah, I bought a brand new knife too.
Yeah,
The one that I had was already
and
worn.
then you know I noticed that like cause the knives are 200, but then if you buy a sharpening stone it's like 5,000 or something. So I just been buying knives
And
instead
both
of.
of me. I I just bought a new knife.
Yeah, so just buy the lure, the fishing lure, next time.
Yeah.
Yep, just like Savage. But it just has less choices, which is I like. You know, I think there's only like 4 choices of the fishing lure, and any of them work. They all work the same, so it doesn't matter which one you buy. Oh, and if you fish in the ocean, the fish are more expensive. You get better fish. I caught a shark, and
You have to.
somebody wanted to buy the shark off of me for 40K. I mean 50K.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess that when you're rich, then you know, you just they just like take the shark and play around with it in trader.
To each their own, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
fishing animation is definitely sped up on.
Yeah, it fish better, huh? It's faster
A lot
anyways.
faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you catch those minnow, those are the one you want to keep also. If you cut them, they turn into fish pieces and then you could cook them.
Use them for bait.
Cook them.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah.
I know some servers you can cut the minnows up and it just makes bait.
Yeah, it turned into, on here, it turned into like the fillet and you could fish. You
Fillet.
could cook it. That way you don't have to, cut your fish up and, you know, lose that money. I need to put one of these in the car. Put that in the car. Is that one? Oh man. Okay, I need to go buy a new gas canister. Also, I need to go buy a gas canister. I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
the
got a little
lag.
bit of cash, man, you should buy your fishing pole. It does the best. As I started, that's what I did. I've only been playing like a
Okay,
week,
thanks.
dude, so I know how it is.
Supplies. We're gonna buy one of this. Just gonna buy the lure, fishing lures. One of this. One of this. And throw these away. Let's put these over here. I think I only bought 3, right? Yeah. Just for now. What was I gonna get? Oh, gas canister. Buy the food place. Go here. There you go, 200. Buy that one. Does it let me sell the old one? No. It doesn't. Oh. I guess it just replaces it. The other one just disappear. Interesting. You see that little lag in here?
Oh, you sell the whole fish?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you.
God
Yeah,
damn it.
the whole fish. Don't cut any of the fish. Did you cut all of it already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm
damn
used
it.
to having to cut it to sell it. That's my thing. I was like, cut it all up. There'll be less space.
Oh. Oh, it's gonna buy a battery. That's what it's gonna do. Let's go buy a battery.
I was wondering why it wasn't popping up to sell.
Okay, let's go. We could cook those. I think the batteries. The battery right here? Buy one of those. Okay. Blossom has a... Oh, it has a light. Is that Blossom? Yeah. Blossom, you have a light, right?
Yeah,
On your
headlight.
head? Okay. Yeah, I don't even have MVG yet. You have to craft those or buy off of someone. Do you have batteries?
I have a battery.
Okay, okay. I have batteries if you need some. Okay. Put our money away.
Is there a fire anywhere in Trader that I can cook at? I gotta make.
Yeah, you gotta, there's a stove. Not a stove, a little thing. You need, sticks and stuff though. Are you inside or outside?
In the Trader.
Okay, so it's right here. I don't know how these things work, but you have to put like, a stick inside of it.
Oh, it's a smoker.
Yeah, it's a smoker. Or I could cook your food in my cooking pot. Or you could buy a cooking pot too. They're not expensive.
I don't have a thing to screw the propane onto because I have propane, but
A gas stove?
yeah, for a
I
gas
think you could,
stove.
yeah, I think you could buy it. Let me look. Yeah, the gas stove is 300. The gas canister is 200. The cooking pot is 1,000. It's all right here
What
by
was
the
the
food.
first one? The gas stove. How much is that?
300.
Where are you? The tools.
Oh, over here where you buy food? By the drinking fountain? Right here where I'm standing? Yeah, right here. The first, no, the second one with survival cooking supplies. Pasta, do you need me to make it a fire also for you?
No, I'm good. I think I'm only cold because my clothes are all ruined.
Oh! Darn, okay. The clothes are really cheap.
Yeah, I'll be
Did you
alright.
see? Okay.
See, like I got cold just for a second, and then it went away. Then
Okay.
it'll go away, comes back. It comes
Okay.
back. Too dark.
The meat does go bad, so make sure you cook those.
Like, good.
I don't know why, I think there was a glitch in my cooking pot because... Yeah, there's a glitch in my cooking pot. I think I might have to relog for that to fix. Because the old one was here and then the new one just took its place. That's what happened to it. Let's look at that. There we go.
Come on, start working.
Is your cooking pot not working?
No, it was my game, wasn't it? It was being stupid. It wasn't letting me move stuff around for a second.
Okay.
Everything else.
On here, the night is long.
Yeah, it's probably vanilla.
Do you like that, or do you not like that?
It depends on what you're doing, really.
I hate it. I'm so used to the night being so short. That's so weird for me. I'm like,
But like right now,
it doesn't
it's not
matter.
too bad.
Yeah, unless a
Yeah.
Zen comes, and then we're like, can't really see them that well.
I have tempted to go check out that Lux server that Bear was on, see how it is.
Let's see.
Good
Is it the
chat.
Exile?
I think so.
And it's Lux, right?
Uh-huh.
Didn't we play Lux before on Reapers?
Possibly.
I think we did. We didn't, you know, we made the
We didn't do a
base,
whole
but
lot.
that's about it. And
We
we
didn't
looted.
go here and there yet.
But there wasn't anyone there. It was just the three of us, I think.
Yeah, I think it was one of them servers that they had up that everybody moved from because I think it was one of the Reaper's older servers.
Yeah. Nobody played on the when we went, anyways.
And they were all from different time zones, so they played at different times. Maybe a bunch of little small fish.
So this is what people normally do when they first start, and I still do it, you know, once in a while. Just to make money, you know, like starter money. So it's ruined. Especially until you get a car, you know, and that way you could get around and loot and have more room. I know, Chad, I haven't like streamed in so long. I'm already tired. I'm like, I think if so if
Hey, I'm gonna have to run into the trader and so
oh, okay.
because I got quite a bit of like magazines and stuff. So yeah, probably should just to make room. Rocking a shotgun and a sharp stick.
Oh.
I might do it just to make the room.
Which do you have a gun at all? Or just the
Yeah, I got a
magazine?
shotgun.
Okay.
Nice. No, I wouldn't sell it. Wouldn't sell my magazines knowing that I have a gun at all. I would have just bought a gun to match one of them. Oh, and it's one of them ones where you can't sell ammo unless you have a full
Yeah,
freaking stack.
exactly. Certain stacks, certain numbers. I don't know what the numbers are.
Oh, and I got magazines. I can't sell. Great. I can't even empty out, make all the room I want. Damn, freaking that.
Yeah, I think I'm glitch. I can't cook my food. Throw this away. Okay, let me go in here and look at my map real quick and take some of these markers off. Let's see.
Why would this dickhole shut the door going out of the fucking gun? Freaking damn it.
Yeah, I might have to relog for that to work.
Oh, I guess I can't sell minnows at all.
No, no. That's why I just turn them into food. If you cut them, you could fillet it.
And all that other fish that I just cooked up. Damn.
So put this money away. Okay, let me relog and see if I could cook my food. Pause, I'm gonna relog because my cooking pot, for some reason glitched. I'll be right
Okay.
back. Okay, chat, I'm going to do the be right back. And then I'm gonna relog real quick. And while that's happening, I'm gonna go get some water, okay? I'll be right back, chat. Okay, I'm back. Let's log in. Give me a few seconds to get us in. Okay, and we're in. There you go. Let's see if my cooking pot works now.
Yeah.
No, it's
Hopefully.
not. So there's a glitch to
Is
it.
one of the parts red?
So
Is one of the parts red?
what happened is that the gas canister. Oh, okay.
Is it empty?
Oh, it is empty. Okay. And then I bought a new one. And I think what happens is that they overlap. So when I came back
So go throw the old
in,
one out.
when I came back in, the old one is in its place, and the new one's gone.
Okay, look in your protective case or that other bag.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna look. Oh, you know what? If I go up to the thing, I think it should tell me if I have one or two. Yeah, it's gone. I have to rebuy it, I think. Which is fine. Okay, so lesson learned. If your gas canister is empty, you want to toss that first. Throw it away, and then buy a new one.
I didn't even buy my first one. I found the gas canister. I wish I would have found all the other parts. That'd have been real nice.
Okay, let's get our money. I think it's 200. Yep, it was gone. It's fine, it's only 200. Okay.
I just got gypped out of a fish.
Why? What happened?
It like made the splash like thing, and it showed me reeling something in, but it never gave me anything.
Yeah, that happens to me too. Like a few times. Sucks.
I have it happen to me a lot on Savage.
Okay. Now I could switch it on. Now it's cooking. Okay, well that's cooking. Let's look through our stuff. Do you have Tetris, by chance?
I do indeed. Why?
Darn, okay. I have extra one I was gonna give to you, but never mind.
I think I've only got like 4 or 5.
Okay, I'll give you this full one.
Oh, and gypped me out of a fish again.
I usually
I
move
have.
spot.
5.
sometimes.
I'm running back to the trader. Where are you at?
Water fountain. Cooking my fish.
I'll be right in front of the damn door. Warp me, warp me, warp me. Good.
Good. And on here, you could eat the food right away. Num num num.
Dang, got me a big old catfish. Sells for
Oh, nice.
1,080.
Okay, I put this.
Oi.
Look at these two guys. I think I need new shoes. Worn. Okay.
Cold. Yeah, I just started on the server. I'm a little cold.
Better shoes.
Better shoes, man. I like these shoes though. I guess I got to change, huh?
Yeah,
Anybody got any bandages for sale, man?
I have for free. You take.
Thank you, buddy. I'm gonna go fuck some shit up.
Yeah. If you need to repair some stuff, you can repair at the bench. Apparently,
Okay.
this one. You can repair some clothing.
Hello.
Good luck.
Hey, where do I buy MMG gear? Is it here or somewhere else? Or you don't know?
You mean MBG for the gas zone?
No, MMG, like this vest.
Oh,
Yeah,
vest?
that vest.
At the clothing
There?
place? Yep. Keep going
Oh no,
to the
Okay,
right.
thanks.
this vest is from black market.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
what can I
this.
buy? Black market is toxic, right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay, so I have to get toxic. So here I can buy like the normal clothes and stuff.
yeah. You can buy like a regular vest, but
What about NVG?
yeah.
Can I buy somewhere here?
NBC clothes.
Uh,
In,
No, NVG, like night vision goggle. Here somewhere?
no, you cannot. You have to
I
craft
cannot
them.
buy. Oh, okay. Thanks.
You could try the P2P over there as well and see if they sell them, but it's really expensive. What were we gonna look? Oh, I was gonna look. Let's go look at all his stuff and see. I always move the battery and I don't want to, but sometimes I leave them on and just drain the battery. Let's go look and see if... They're all Okay. Okay, is there anything on here I need to sell? Okay, let's go in the car. I think I have a gun that I need to sell. I could put in the... So we'll go here. Go here. Oh, look at that moon. Isn't that pretty? Oh, what a gorgeous moon. Let's open that up. Unlock. Open that. Okay. So I could sell. I want to sell that one. I'm gonna sell that. And I'm gonna see if I could craft something. Okay, that's all I could sell from here. Yeah. Lock that. And we're gonna store it. It's in there. On here, they impound your car right away. Like, they're really, like, strict about it. If they're on. Let's turn that off. Go in here. Oh. That's what I was gonna do. I was seeing I could craft. Go over here and see what we can do. I've never done this. Oh, somebody's here.
Maybe you need the...
Oh, I got new shoes. I'm good now. I'm not cold anymore.
Ah, great. And
Let's come back
a
when
Appreciate
better
it's done.
backpack,
Oh, okay.
like
So
this
let's
one.
take this.
How much?
I think you put
It's
it
okay,
in
I
here.
give it to you for free.
Craft. Oh,
Thank
know
you,
what?
man.
Let me hold on.
Come.
Let's hold on to this.
There's
And
more
find
space
you where it is.
than this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You know, I was just gonna figure it out. Do you need these?
Oh, it's fine, yo. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Keep it if you...
You sure?
Yeah, yeah. Keep it if you
Okay.
gonna take more items,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
you can keep
I
one
need to go
bag in your
find
hand.
my stuff now to go make a base. You know,
Oh,
It
nice.
goes there, right?
I'm more
So what?
used to being able to, because I found a box of nails, but you can't buy the other stuff. So
Okay.
Yeah,
just gonna go find them
And
right now.
then how do I?
yeah. Watch out because it's gonna restart soon. But
How do I?
usually you find
Got it.
towns. Visit towns. You can find hammers.
Okay. Ah!
What else do
Oh
you
yeah,
Got
need?
it.
I
Okay.
played Daisy a lot before, but just not on this server. It's a lot different, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
we did
It's a
the
bit.
glove, the
How can I
hood.
say? It's a bit easy.
Got the hood.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah, just explore and you will find all what you need.
Okay. So we got the
Oh yeah.
hood.
Oh, I'm
The
gonna go put
boots.
this backpack on the trash can. Maybe somebody wants it, and then I'll go fuck around.
boot.
Sounds good. Good luck, man.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, boot, pants. Okay, got the pants. How much is the jacket? Oh, I need 5 more for the jacket. Okay. Okay, so we did the gloves, the hood, the boots, the pants, and we need 5 more for the jacket. And then we need to find... Can I buy the filter and stuff over here? Let me look. And the gas mask. Okay, 3,500. Or you could buy the combat gas. Does this come with it already? Wonder if it's... Okay, so 2,000. Which is better? I wonder if buy one of these or buy one of this and get the filters. Combat gas mask or gas mask. I gotta ask. Okay. At least I know where to buy it. I know I have some at home. Not home, at base. So, okay, so I have actually this pouch right here. This pouch right here. It carries your NBC gear. Does it take this? Nope. Okay. And we'll put this back in the yellow. There we go. And we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna go see if I could sell these 2 things. Here on my stall. I need to. Let's find that. Okay, this one right here. This is the. Let's see. This one's the Jack Daniel refrigerator. 10K for that. Okay. And I want to sell. What's that gun at? Oh, there it is. This gun. Great. Okay, I ran out of room. Okay, that's fine. And we're going to have published. Yeah. Oh, it is published. Okay. Open stall. Oh yeah, it's there. Okay. I don't have room for this, so I'll put that back. This is the MAK-54. I just don't have a magazine for it. Oh, server is gonna restart in 10 minutes already? Wow. Hey Possum, on here,
Yeah.
sometimes the server will kick you at 7 minutes. Just so you know.
Yeah, I've been seeing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I normally log out around 8 minutes. And especially if you're driving, I usually stop at 8 minutes too.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, I'm probably gonna call it after restart.
Okay.
Food about coming up on 3 o'clock for me.
Oh, darn. Okay.
Yeah, and I've been up since like 11 a.m. So
Yeah, yeah.
give me some food. I go to sleep, but I'll be around tomorrow for sure.
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty. Go ahead and log out here at Trader so I don't die.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we can do some more fishing streams.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll go to VMC and see if we could get a gun for you.
Yeah, I mean I have a shotgun that's pump action and holds 8 shots, so it's not terrible.
No, no.
Alrighty, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Night Possum.
Good night.
So, chat, I'm gonna log off here because it does kick you out. And so what I'm gonna do is let's see. We can go like this. I'll be right back. And then let me log out of here. And I wanted to check out, let me see. Before we call it, I want to see if that other server is on. So give me a second real quick to look. Okay, where is it? Checking and see if it's on. Done. Okay, he took it off. I want you to guys to show you this server that I'm excited about that's coming up. But it looks like yeah, he took it off. He's working on it. Yep. Okay. Well, chat, that's it for me tonight. I know it's been a while, you know. Let me go. But before we go, let me put our goodbye screen up with the little kitty cat saying goodbye. I know it's been a while, but I've been working on some stuff, and so that's why I haven't been on. Anyways, but before you leave, don't leave yet. I'm gonna play you guys out with a song, okay? I tried to play a song. I call it playing out with a song. See if you guys like it. I think I played this before, but we'll see, okay? Stay tuned. Stay with me.
KuppaJoy in the game, nothing like no pause. Zombies looking shook, jaws dropping applause. Seen a lasting glory, bottling caps, no disguise. In the land of dayz, players meet their demise. Back with heat, play elite, see the bomb annihilate. No problem for Troy, bringing the heavyweight. Keyboard click, clack, precision in the veins. Sand heads roll, wasteland full of remains. KuppaJoy don't play with the haters. Undisputed queen, dayz, gladiator. She walk, they tremble, they all hit the floor. Undefeated icon, y'all begging for more. Nightfall, she stalks, shadows, her only shield. Players hit the deck, soon as she touch the field. AK spraying, skills you cannot get. dayz is a playground, only place you wanna be. Moving like a ghost, never seen, always there. Enemies whisper, same man, the same fare. Joy brings the storm, calm in her eyes. In this digital world, she reigns, terrorize. KuppaJoy don't play with the haters. Undisputed queen, dayz, gladiator. She walk, they tremble, they all hit the floor. Undefeated icon, y'all begging for more. Zombies lurking, dayz the scene. KuppaJoy reigns, killers get mean. Heartbeats pound, fear on the go. Set that Java skill helps her flow. Players try to sleep, but they fall. She's the boss, master of brawl. Don't make a noise, better stay hid. One swift shot, done with the kid. KuppaJoy reigns, fear her might. Zombies tremble, players take flight. Coffee in one hand, gun in the other. In dayz world, she's like no other. Cafe on carnage, mocha with a murder. Coffee queen, ain't nobody further. Joystick in hand, massacre pristine. Watch your back or face the mean. Server survivors dropping like flies. Her reputation soars, hits new highs. Stealth and skill, no player safe. In every corner, she guards a place. KuppaJoy reigns, fear her might. Zombies tremble, players take flight. Coffee in one hand, gun in the other. In dayz world, she's like no other.
Okay, chat. That's it. Good night. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm glad you like it, Justin. I'll see you guys soon, okay? Bye.